Stand like that. So whenever you guys are ready.
Good evening. Good evening. Today is Monday, November 14th. Declan, or Decker Kaneda, will be talking about electronics and how it could be dangerous. Jenna will be telling the story of the Ouija board. Faith will be telling about a tragic shooting with police officers. And I'll be talking about a terrible drought in Alabama. And now we have Declan.
Hello, my name is Declan Kaneda, and today we will be talking about an exploding story. Some people may even say that it is the bomb. By that, I mean we'll be talking about the Galaxy Note 7 and how it has been exploding. Recently, Samsung released the new Samsung Galaxy Note 7. Everything was going fine for a while, but suddenly Samsung started to receive reports that said the Note 7 was exploding. Everybody was in complete confusion until a group of Samsung engineers set out to find a cause. But in the meantime, Samsung issued a full recall of the Note 7. Eventually, the engineers found the culprit. It turns out the battery management system of the phone was faulty. Normally, the system monitors the amount of power coming into the battery, and when it becomes full, the system will stop the intake of power. What was going wrong with the Note 7 was the battery system was failing, causing the phone to overheat and sometimes explode. Samsung predicted the phone sales would completely blow up. I mean, I guess they kind of got it right. But in total, it was estimated that Samsung lost a total of $9.5 billion in lost sales and lost about $5.1 billion of profit. Also, there could be another downside to this disaster. The current problem is finding out how to dispose all of the recalled Note 7s. Experts say that if Samsung chose to dump them, it would be the equivalent of dumping out 28 shipping containers of toxic waste. That would be terrible for the environment. Also, there is word that Samsung might bounce back from the Note 7 disaster. A Dutch news outlet received a patent that suggested Samsung might be working on a new bendable phone. They said the mechanism would work similarly to the flip phones of the early 2000s, but with a new, refined design. Sadly, there's no telling to when or if this technology will become public. Back to you, Kenny.
Thanks, Declan. That was very interesting as to how Samsung might actually bounce back from this disaster. Now we have Jenna with the story of the Ouija board. Jenna.
Thanks, Connie. Everyone's heard of the Ouija board. But does everyone know the real story behind it? I'm Jenna Oldendorf, and I'm here to tell you the Ouija board's real origin. It all began when Elijah Bond started selling the board with planchettes. In order for Bond to get a patent, he would have to prove that the board actually worked. The chief patent officer told Ford to spell out his name, which was unknown to Bond, in order to proceed with the patent application. Bond and the officer sat down and the board faithfully spelled out the officer's name. The officer's face turned completely white and he was visibly shaken, but the officer awarded Bond with the patent. It was surprising to know that the board actually named itself. Helen Peters, Bond's sister-in-law, decided to ask the board what it wanted to be named. The board spelt out Ouija. Helen asked what Ouija meant, and it replied, "Good luck," in Egyptian. Later, Peters acknowledged that she was wearing a locket, and on the locket was a woman with the words Ouija above her head. It's very possible that the woman in the locket was a famous author and popular women's rights activist who Peters admired, and that Ouija was just a misreading of that. Although many people say that Helen Peters' story is fake, and Ouija is just a combination of the French and German words for yes. Now we welcome William Flute to the story. William Flute is another person who sold boards in millions. The board brought Flute lots and lots of money. Sadly, death came upon Flute. He died in a freak fall accident from his factory, a factory the board told him about. Even with all the stories and movies you've heard, it is sad to say that the board isn't real. It is proven that a person can move or move something without their conscious mind realizing it. With the Ouija board, if you really think about what you want the answer to be, you will push the planchette toward the answer. Therefore, Helen Peters must have wanted the name Ouija. The officer must have spelled out his name, and William Peters must have wanted a factory. Thanks for listening. Back to you, Kenny.
Thanks, Jenna. That was very informative and fascinating. I never knew it was fake. Now we have faith.
Hi, my name is Faith. Iowa seems like a pretty calm state, doesn't it? You never hear about any major shootings or conflicts coming from their state, but that's not the case here. Police have found 46-year-old Scott Michael Green, who was reportedly a suspect in the shooting of 2 Iowa police officers. It all started about a few weeks before the shooting. Green was attending a high school football game where everything seemed to be okay, but during the national anthem was when things began to change. He was reportedly waving a Confederate flag in the face of an African American. He was then asked to leave, but a few days before the slayings, he was under an intense amount of financial pressure. Hours before the shooting, he was asked to move out of his mother's basement prior to physically abusing his 66-year-old mother. Green was under an intense amount of financial pressure. He had a teenage daughter's support, so he was desperate for a job. He applied for Central Iowa Fencing, which was a small construction business in suburban Des Moines. He inquired for a second time, his first being about a year ago, and finally got the job. He was asked to leave on his 3rd day of work because he wasn't working and wasn't taking instructions. He was allowed to come back, but he just didn't show up. He was then fired because he was using unsafe driving. At about 1:06 a.m. on Wednesday, Urbandale police officer Justin Martin was found gunned down in his patrol car outside Urbandale High School. It is said that about 15 to 30 shots were fired at Martin alone. About 2 miles away, Des Moines police officer Anthony Domino was found gunned down in his car only about 2 miles away. Martin, who was 24, had recently graduated from the academy and started patrol in August. Police Chief Ross McCarty commented by saying, "We had high hopes for his future, and it's tragic it's been cut short." Domino, who was 39, had joined the Des Moines Police Department in 2005 after working in Indianola, Iowa. He was a father of 3 who worked as a school resource officer and a robbery homicide detective before he was promoted. Police described both incidents as ambush-style attacks. A .223 caliber rifle was discovered in a wooded area where no person probably could have found it. There was no evidence showing that Green had ever come in contact with the 2 officers. Green is in custody after he flagged down a natural resources officer 2 counties away from where the killings occurred. He was questioned at the Des Moines Police Department, where he was handcuffed with the cuffs to the patrolmen that were killed. If Green is convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder, he would automatically receive a life sentence without parole. Back to you, Ken.
Thanks, Faith. What a tragedy that is. And now, here's myself talking about a horrible drought that's in Alabama. In the long run, it's not that bad compared to other 2016 droughts. But in the short term, it's done so much damage. It's incredible that a drought could cause such a catastrophe. The drought's hitting the hardest here, and there. This is getting state officials involved as well. State officials have actually banned outdoor burning of any kind. It's amazing how it's amazing. Like I find it understandable given the circumstances, yet still outrageous, being that it's just a drought. There's a lot more precautions that they could take to prevent this, and now they're saying cooler weather is approaching, but it's not forecasting any rain. Surprisingly enough, the largest amount of damage was caused by pastures, or done to pastures along the state. Cattle is being cattle is starving, and the feed is becoming more expensive as we go. There needs to be more feed. The production of feed is being slowed due to lack of water, and feed is very expensive, and the hay is nearly unobtainable. This is this is a picture of the cattle. Cattle is now being resold and sold for over $800 or less than $150. It's really just sad. The lives of cows are being affected everywhere. As you can see, this is how such a small thing could cause such a large catastrophe. Back to you, Declan.
Thanks, Kenny, but what a terrible thing to happen in such a pretty state.
I know, but on a somewhat lighter topic, here's some upcoming news about the presidential election. In the overall polls across the state, it's showing that Hillary will win by a landslide. She has about a 4-point lead. She has a 4-point lead over Trump in the head-to-head matchup. We have made predictions about who will win. I say Hillary will win by 4%. Declan says Hillary by a whopping 20%. Faith says 1, and Jenna says 5.
Only a few more days till the elections, it'll be close.
Isn't it always? It's coming to the end of this, and it's coming to the end of this newscast. So I want to give a shout out to Notre Dame, who's a proud sponsor, Boise, Idaho, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Carl Zeus for tuning into our newscast. This has been The Zell.